Yeah, I'm bald now. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Mr. Clean here. If you guys are wondering why I went bald, it's just for the fact that my sister does have cancer. So I had to do this like fundraiser thing to get some money for her, and I had to shave my head. Today's story comes from, I don't know, maybe like 2012 to 2014, somewhere around there. So back in the day, I used to hang out with my cousin like every single day. Like, my cousin was like my best friend back in the day. Like, I didn't really hang out with any other person except for him. So we used to play video games, ride bikes, all that shit that little kids do, right? So this one day, we decided we're gonna ride bikes. Me and my cousin Shenard LeBeau, we get on our bikes and we just start riding around my neighborhood. So while we're riding, I look down one street and I see this kid. I don't know who he is, but he's coming towards us. So I just assumed it was another person that was riding their bike around town. He looked like he was our age, but a little bit young. Not by a lot, but a little bit. So me and my cousin were sitting there on the corner, and I think my grandma was walking with us or something, so we were just waiting for her. So while we're waiting, this one kid just comes up to us on his bike, and he just starts talking to us. I don't remember exactly what he said, but basically he was asking to be our friend. And at the time I was like, sure, why not? Like, another person for the party, why not? So we started riding our bikes around with him, and at some point me and my cousin decided we wanted to go back to my house. So we go back to my house, and this kid wanted to go in with us, so we were like, fuck it, why not? So we go back to my house, we go into my room, and me and my cousin used to play with Legos every single day. Like, look at my background, there are fucking Legos there, there's fucking Legos over there, there's Legos everywhere, okay? I used to fucking love Legos. So when he comes over, I don't think he had a lot of Legos, so me and my cousin decided like we'd give him like the little characters. We gave him a few like that we didn't want, and we just kind of like, I guess we felt bad. I'm not really sure why we gave him some, but we just did. So after that, he went home at some point, and so me and my cousin, I think we had a sleepover or something. So the next day comes around, and I wake up, and maybe like an hour after I wake up, somebody's knocking on the door. Now as a little kid, I'm gonna answer the door. I mean, I don't know why, because nowadays, I wouldn't even answer the door. Like, if somebody starts knocking on my door right now, I'm gonna look over, not even go up the stairs, I'm gonna look over at my door, and I'm like, sucks for them. Somebody could be pounding on my door right now, and I could hear it, and I'm not going upstairs. I don't care. So I go upstairs, I go to the door, and I open it up, and it's the same kid from yesterday. And I thought this was a little weird because, like, I guess he could hang out with us again? I mean, I only really knew my cousin. I didn't really know this kid, and it felt a little off. Not really sure why. But we started hanging out with him, and we started to notice he had a few problems. Now, when I was little, I would cry a lot, okay? But this other kid, if he didn't get his way, he would cry. And he would cry a lot. It would just annoy me so much that he would cry over the smallest thing. So he started coming over every single day after this. It just started annoying the shit out of me. Like, even days when my cousin wasn't here, he was coming over. And like, it just got to the point where I would not answer the door anymore. If I heard it, I was staying away from the door. Maybe that's why I don't want to ever answer the door anymore. He would literally sit at the front door for like an hour if we didn't answer it. He just sat there knocking. But it was like a point where like he wanted to hang out every single day, and like I couldn't even deal with my cousin every single day. No offense, Shenard. It was just like sometimes you need alone time, you know? But there was this one specific day I remember very vividly. It was me and my cousin, and I was playing Grand Theft Auto. Now my cousin was just allowed to start playing Grand Theft Auto, I'm pretty sure, because before his parents wouldn't let him. So I'm playing Grand Theft Auto, and I hear a knock at the door. And it's been like 2 weeks since this kid has come over. And I go to the door, and it's him. And like, I already opened the door, so I already have to let him in. Once he sees me, gotta let him in the house. So I let him in the house, and we come downstairs, and I go back to playing Grand Theft Auto. And he starts going, I want to play Grand Theft Auto, I want to play Grand Theft Auto. And I was like, yo, listen, man, This game's very violent. Cousin wasn't even allowed to play it. So I was like, man, it's pretty violent. I can't let you play this unless, like, I know your parents will let you. And he just starts whining, like crying and whining, going, I just want to do the driving part. Let me do the driving part. And I'm like, oh my God, make it stop. And I'm just trying to play the missions, get everything done. And he's like, I want to do the driving part. I just want to do the driving part. And I was like, fuck this. I'm giving him the damn control. Now, the only problem was he wanted to do the driving part. So I get out of the car and he goes, how do I get in the car? And I was like, you press circle. Now, if you're a PlayStation person, you know that in Grand Theft Auto, to get in the car is to press triangle. So he starts pressing circle near cars and stuff. And he just starts smacking the car. And he's like, how do I get in the car? I was like, I don't know, man. I think it might be broken. I am such a dickhead, man. Oh my God. Nobody taught me how to be a good person when I was little. So at some point, he presses triangle and he figures it out and he gets in the car and he starts driving around. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. This other part of the story happened before this. I'm not entirely sure. But there was this one time this kid came over my house and me and my cousin are eating dinner and we go to the door and I open it up and he goes, you guys want to play? And me and my cousin look at each other and we're like, we're eating dinner. We can't right now. And then he goes, I can bring my own dinner. We were like, oh God, please God, no. So not even 10 minutes later, because this kid didn't live too far away from me. 10 minutes later, he comes up to the door again, and he literally, up to the window at the door, has McDonald's, and he's holding it like this. Me and my cousin open the door again, and he's holding his McDonald's up, and he's like, can I eat with you guys? And oh my God, me and my cousin just looked at each other like in horror. We were like, what the fuck? Now, I wouldn't dislike this kid as much as I did at the time if he wasn't so desperate about being our friends. Like, I feel like just the desperateness kind of, like, ruined any, like, friendship we actually could have had. Like, him coming over every single day, where I just wanted to be alone. As an 8-year-old, I wanted to be alone. It just, like, it wasn't a good mix of him coming over every single day. It gets annoying. So over time, he just stopped coming over, and I just didn't see him anymore. I think he got the hint finally. And, like, fast forward a few years when I was in high school, it turned out he went to the same school as me. But once we were in high school, he was a little bit more chill. I know a lot of kids didn't like him in high school just because of how he used to be. But at that point, I had no problem with him because he acted like a normal human to me. He didn't start coming over my house again or anything. And I'm just glad he was able to, like, overcome whatever the fuck was going on in his life to make him act that way. But yeah, guys, that's my story for today. If you want to like the video, hit the subscribe button, put a comment down. I'd really appreciate it. I'm fucking bald. Please like the video. But yeah, guys, it's been Mr. Clean, or Zombie, as you probably know me. And I'm out. Deuces. Fucking bald, man.